You're watching the Ram Pump Wizard. In today's Ram Pump video, I'm going to be showing you how to restart a pump after it's been sitting dormant for the winter time. In this video, I'm going to be cleaning up the intake, cleaning out the filter bucket, and getting the pump started back. And after that, show you where the water goes here on my own system. It is time to get this system up and running again. Every other week, it seems like it drops down into the 30s again, but I think we are out of the freeze, so I can get this going again. Speaking of that, I am really bad at winterizing my system. I haven't done it in 8 years. So let's step down here to the creek, take a look at the ram pump, and see if anything has busted over this past winter. This is the pump itself. It looks like it is pretty well covered in leaves, but that's no big deal. Whew, that's some cold water. It got up to about 45 today, so it's a bit chilly. Now, I'll show you what a ram pump looks like here in a bit. This one is covered up with a bunch of junk, so I can't really show you what this one looks like. One of the things that saves my pump from dying every year is that I leave the delivery valve open and water passes through here, and one of my hose clamps is not on the pipe, and so it breaks free and drains the system for me. And it happened again this year. So this right here is supposed to be connected to that, but it's not. So I think that's what saves me from having busted pipes throughout the winter time. There's no water getting to the pump, which means something may be busted on the drive pipe or further up. Come with me up here. So the drive pipe is connected to this old flume, which really locks it down tight. Oh, here's the nettle forest. That's always fun to walk through. So far, the drive pipe is intact. Let's see what we got up here. So this bucket is what I like to refer to as the filter bucket. It will essentially help reduce the sediment and silt, but also provides an air-free source to the pump. So air that gets into this drive line will stop the pump, and that's what this bucket is mostly doing. So I'm already seeing a lot of silt in there, but also, yeah, my supply line, which brings water from the intake up here, has come loose, so we'll have to reattach that. Let's continue following the supply line up to the intake filter. We've had some pretty decent floods. This creek gets up to about 400 gallons a minute from the 50 or so that it is right now. You can't tell, but this little piece of PVC right there is the intake screen. So I've got a shovel. We will dig all that out and get water flowing. I'm gonna start scooping some of this sediment out of here. Probably gonna go faster if I remove a few of these rocks. I can already see bubbles where water is getting pulled into that pipe. This is basically two 3-inch pipes with window screen around them, and that lets water go into the pipe and down this 1-inch poly pipe. Down here at the bucket, I've got this pipe, and I can see there's some flow, but not enough. So what we can do is lift this up for a bit, and water will fill the pipe, and then we can set it down quickly, and it will help pull that water out quicker. Basically, there's an airlock, and we have to get rid of that airlock. So if you pick the pipe up, hold it for a second, it lets the water fill up, and drop it, and it helps pull that air out. So see how it's not quite a full flow? So you pick it up, let it fill with water for a second, and then drop it. And that will get us going here in just a bit. So, okay, that's pretty much a full pipe's worth. There may still be a little air in there, but we're looking pretty good. To get this water into the bucket, I've got this right here. Basically, it just angles it down. There's a lot of leftover silt from last year's ram pump use, and I've just got a drain plug open down here, letting all of that out. Now I have the bucket clean of silt, and the outlet is still open. I've just got a regular cap here that I put over the end. Once it reaches that drive pipe, the water will start going in there and filling up the ram pump. Let's go down here and see what's happening at the ram pump. Almost all the air has been pulled out of the drive pipe, which means it's time to close this tank valve here. Okay, and now we can push down the waste valve, which has closed. And that will basically put pressure in here. So let me go ahead and close the delivery valve going up the hill. It won't take but a few cycles for the water to raise up into this tank, and it will start cycling on its own. There you go, pretty quick. So a lot of pressure is building up in this tank. When I open this delivery, it's going to shoot the water out the delivery pipe and the pump will stop. The reason that happened is because our delivery pipe is disconnected up here and there's not enough pressure pushing back down on the pump to keep it going. There may be more than one place where this has happened. We'll have to walk the line here in a bit and see, but okay, I'm going to open the delivery pipe up again. Water is going to go from the drive pipe through the delivery pipe, passing the pump, and it's going to fill the delivery all the way up until it matches the source water. Now it's going to take a little while to do this because the water is being pushed up the delivery pipe until a point that it has enough back pressure on the pump to start operating on its own. I get a lot of questions saying, in the past you used a brass valve and then you swapped over to these stainless steel valves and now you're back to brass. Why is that? The stainless steel valves last a lot longer, but the problem is they're a lot heavier. And so, especially for the 1/2 inch pump, you had to tilt the valve to the side if you had 2, 3, or 4 feet of head pressure. If you had more than that, it was enough to get the valve running. We're almost there. So I reduced back down to the brass valves, which you can still get 2 or 3 years out of, and they work on as little as 2 feet of head pressure. So much better to have a much wider range of head pressures than these old heavy valves. The ram pump is right in here, and the delivery pipe circles around and is this 3/4 inch pipe here. Comes around, goes under my little bridge, goes under a culvert, which needs to be dug out right here, goes up under the road to this spot right over here, and then heads up the hill here. And we're gonna go up past the cars, up on that hill up there. Yep, look, ram pump has already made it up to this point here. So there's our water going up. We gotta find this connection right here and reconnect that. The water snapped that off in the wintertime. I'm not even sure where it went. It probably flew off pretty good. Okay, I brought a wrench, so hopefully we can get this back up and running. Delivery pipe goes under this culvert, which goes up under our little driveway here to the other side. You'll see there are now 2 lines. One is going back down the hill and one's going up the hill. Now, one thing that's kind of fun is you can tap on the line. Empty, empty. So in just a second when the water gets up here, we'll be able to hear that the water is at this point. Now the water's reached this point, so still empty, full. So there seems to be water right here. It's right around here is where it's gotten to. The weight of the water in this delivery pipe is pretty heavy, and so I've installed this board with some plumber's strap and a fence post right there, and that prevents the whole thing from sliding back down the hill. I've got a little over 150 gallons here. Now, what freaks out a lot of people is that the line comes in, goes around right there, and then feeds from the bottom. And a lot of people think there's no way you can fill a storage tank from the bottom. So here's the deal. The size of the delivery pipe doesn't matter. You could be lifting this same water up with a 4-inch pipe or a 1/2 inch pipe. It doesn't matter. The gravity or pressure down on any, I guess, cross section of that water is the same, whether it's a big body of water or a little body of water. So that being the case, whenever this little pipe comes up and starts filling these tanks, any point in this is going to be the same. So let's say I took this pipe and brought it up into the top. It would be the same pressure getting up to the top as it is here at the bottom. The difference is the time it takes to fill. So if I'm filling from right here on up, this is the pressure that's pushing down as it fills. If I'm filling from the top, it has to push down from the top the whole time. So it's just having to push that much higher before it spills on the top. That being said, it can be easier to go from the top because if your source is from the bottom, you have to have a valve. Otherwise, it will basically drain back down if the system stops. So I've got the valve here. It's only in one direction. So as soon as the water starts filling this, it can't go back down the delivery pipe, only this line here. All right, we're right there. Aha, we have water. So my setup has 7 feet of head pressure and 35 foot of lift. Typically the ram pump is going to work on a 1:7 ratio. So for every 1 foot of fall into the pump, you can expect 7 lift out. And you always want to bring your final tanks a little bit below that max number so that you have flow rate at the top. Now, for a secret, if you use PVC for your drive pipe instead of the black roll pipe, you can get a better ratio. It's closer to 1:8. So keep that in mind whenever you do your own install. So that seems to be clearing up a bit. If I close this off, it'll only take a moment for that little piece there to fill, and it'll start going back down the hill. Now, of course, those pieces are busted down there, so we'll have to fix those. I'll have to go buy those parts to get that done. Again, here's one of the places we have to fix, but you'll notice that a line comes off lower than that point and goes underground here. Obviously, I'm not a very good gardener, but maybe one day. So, this right here is probably filling up. I had this filter on here and I had just a simple, I guess it was a 90 right there. So we'll have to replace that. Looks like, oh, I see the water coming out now. Check it out. This is busted down here. And so it's just simply dripping out and going on down. So whenever those tanks are full at the top and I have 150 gallons of water, it will put lots of pressure at this little sprinkler and it will water everything for several hours. All right, that concludes the ram pump startup of 2021. I hope you found this video helpful on getting the ram pump to start back after the winter dormancy. Now, I typically recommend that you take the ram pump out of the creek so it doesn't freeze and break during the winter time. But in this case, I left the pump in and just had to do some cleanup to get the system back up and running. Thanks for watching. I'm the Ram Pump Wizard, and I'll see you in the next video.